Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at KASPA again. This is going to be a lower time frame video. Up above you will find our higher time frame video. So check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to talk about the idea that we could be looking for this move to actually be complete here, where we're looking at this as a fourth and saying that we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to be a bit cautious here because we have come up into the typical fifth wave area. Obviously, until we take this low here of the 0305, we can always look to extend. So we're going to talk about that in a second, but we just need to be cautious because we've come right up into the zone. We've hit all the targets here that we need to hit as a 5-wave move. So it has done enough. So what we need to be careful of is that if we do have something like this, we could start to see a bigger retracement to the downside. Now, a common area would be looking for as a wave 2 here would actually be this 18123 all the way down here to this 14082. Now I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to throw this 382 onto here. This will also be a very interesting area towards this previous fourth wave here, which would be at the 020112. So we just need to be a little bit cautious here. We don't start to form corrective structure to the downside. If we start to lose this low, like I said, it becomes less likely we're going to see that extension. But for the time being, we have reacted quite nicely off our levels. So what we were talking about in the previous video is that if this is looking to extend, what we could actually have here is another 1212. And we did get a reaction off of this target box that we have here. So this is not enough yet to confirm that this is taking place. But what we could be looking for here is the potential to see a wave 3 to the upside. Now, what we'd want to see here as a wave 3 would be a move up here towards this 042356 to get more confirmation. So we'd want to see a nice clean 5-wave structure up here, and then we'd be looking for a 5-wave move in this way. And what we would ideally want to do is move up to this blue 1.618, which is sitting higher up here towards this 47595. If we just get this move here where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this could actually mean that this has been an extension in itself and we could look to fall away from that point. But once again, until we actually start taking lows here, we can still look to potentially extend to the upside. So invalidation of this idea would come by actually crossing back down below this 30656 level. So as long as we're above this, we could potentially be looking for this idea of a extension to the upside here in this way. Now, what we need to be on the lookout for here is that we could see something along these lines. If we've actually completed into this high here, what we could see is that this whole move here could be an A wave. We could get a B wave up, and then we could look for this as a C wave to the downside. So 1-to-1 would actually be here, the 31893 off of our current area. So just being cautious that if we start to break to the downside, we'll be looking for this possibility of this 1-to-1 here. Now we'd have to be cautious if we start breaking down past this 1618 level here, then it's more probable that actually we have started an impulsive pattern. Now, to invalidate that, what I'd ideally like to see is first off a break above this 034877. If we get a move back above this, this means that this can't become 1-2 in this way. Alternatively, we need to see a move back above these highs to invalidate the idea that this isn't an impulse to the downside starting to form. Now, what we could see here, if we do look to overshoot this target area, but we fail to achieve that nice clean structure to the upside, looking for that third wave, what we have to be careful of is this red box area over here, which would be this 36921 to this 35679. If we just see 3 waves up into the zone, we need to be very careful that this isn't becoming a bigger flat correction here, in which case what we could see is a move up into these higher levels and then seeing a 5-wave move to the downside here, looking to bring us back down into this lower area here of this 32633 to this 31535. Now, the problem is if we do see a bigger move like this, it becomes less likely that this is part of that extension where we are looking for this as 1 and 2, because if we do see a bigger flat correction like this, although it only invalidates the idea of extension by crossing this low, the size of this move would be quite large in comparison to this move over here. It would still be within the realms. We just have to be careful that if we do get a flat like this, we don't get another 3-wave move up and then start that bigger decline to the downside. So this is what we're looking for at the moment. We need to hold that key support zone if we are looking for that bullish case. if we are looking for the possibility of a breakdown, we need to be very careful currently where we are. If we look to break down directly from where we are here, we need to be on the lookout that any kind of a move past this 1618 to the downside, this 30883, could indicate that this move is starting to extend to the downside, where this becomes 1 2 3 4 5, and then we'd be looking to actually lose these lows here. So that's going to be what we need to be careful of if we are looking for that possibility that this move could have actually looked to complete in this zone. Now, another way we were talking about in the previous video is that we don't have to necessarily move all the way down to those lower levels. What we could see is a bigger corrective structure form here, holding this low, which we've got here towards us 20251, and we could still see that potential of an extension to the upside from this point, where we would look at this as 1 2 here, and this effectively as another 1 and a 2. So this will be our next support zone if we start to lose that higher level here. This area here of this 382 and this 50% would be quite interesting for some kind of a reaction, obviously because we have structure in this zone. So it doesn't necessarily mean that that would have to be the end of it. It could be we get a move down here, we get a bounce up, and then we look to retest lower. But effectively, this would be our secondary support zone if we start to lose these higher zones here. Having a look at the daily CPR lines here, what we can see is that these central lines are squeezed very tight. Now, this is indicating volatility. Now, for as long as we're below these, we need to be very careful, because if we reject off this level, we could potentially look to actually move down and test some of these lower zones. We have targets to the downside of this 32106. We have this 30882 and this 29765 as possible downside targets for today. If, however, we do maintain this level and we do look to push to the upside, possible targets for today could be back into these highs here at this 35575. We have this 36801, we have this 37936, and this level here of this 39126. So that would align with the idea of seeing that continuation to the upside. So going to be keeping an eye on these levels if we do see price move to the upside for the rest of today. Having a look at the weekly CPR, what we can see here is that we are still currently between our central lines and the R1 line. Yeah, at this 36243. So I'm still keeping an eye on this as a possible target to the upside. If we do see price look to move back up here, we could see a reaction. This would align more though with that idea of something like a flat correction. So if we just see 3 waves up here, I'd be cautious of this level as a possible resistance level. Now, if we do look to push up past this zone here, what we do have is alternate targets for this week, this 39527, and this level here of this 46084 as possible targets to the upside. Now, if we do look to break down deeper here, we could potentially find support again on this 31364. We have the central line here at this 39733 and this level here of this 28084 as possible support areas that we could find below us if we do move down into these zones. Alternate targets for this week would be this lower S1 line here at this 26447. And then if we do look to break down deeper, what we'd be looking for potentially would be this 19929. And then this level here of this 16646. Now these would be valid for this week. We don't always have to interact with these price levels. Just if we do move down into the zones, we can potentially look to pivot off of them. Now, looking at the monthly, we still have this R2 line up here towards this 37253. So going to be keeping an eye on that idea of a push to the upside here, looking to interact with this. Now, above this, we also have this 46265 as a possible zone to keep an eye on. So going to be watching these levels if price does continue to move to the upside here. If we, however, look for that deeper retracement, then potentially what we could look for is a retracement back into these central lines here, 24348 and this 20864 are possible targets that we could look for lower down here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.